Alright guys, welcome back to Parkitect. This is episode 9 and we have finally moved on to a different kind of theme. Everything else has been pretty generic except for the Chanute airfield one. That one was sort of different because of how long it was and the fact that it was an airport or abandoned airfield or whatever you want to call it. This one is Western, as you can tell by all of the sand. And as a joke, I kind of have it called Yeehaw Park. But I mean, it's probably just gonna stay that way because I couldn't think of anything sort of Western to go with it. I was streaming and I named the stream like something to do with Yeehaw, and for some reason that's just what came to my head, so that's what I ended up calling the park. Anyways, it's different, I can tell you that right now. This episode is not gonna have any kind of roller coaster building or anything like that. It's mainly just this first main street that I wanted to get like an old Western, what you see in movies basically, you know, where you walk down and there's the main street. Eventually I do want to have like a church or something at the end of this, but where I have the first coaster placed, I might end it pretty much right next to that. We'll see, but it depends on how I'm feeling in the moment because I just pretty much go off the top of my head. Except for one building on here, and that would be sort of the diner, kind of. I'm not sure how to describe it. I tried to replicate one of the buildings I had found on Google, because I tried to find something else to do instead of having that same exact theme over and over, the same building, just different colors. I wanted to do something different and have like a corner building, which this one isn't it. This is just the first building that I started with. It took me quite a while to actually get down what I wanted to do for this building, which is why it's spending the most time on it so far. The other buildings are probably not going to be like that, except for that one corner building, which we'll get to in a second. If I'm not lazy, I'll throw in a picture of what I was trying to get, but it depends on how I'm feeling and all of that. I'm thinking I'll have to go through and find that picture back on Google and maybe sort of transition it in here at some point. Maybe right before it or right after, so that you get an idea of what I was trying to do. And Parkitect has very limited building options, I guess, and so you can't exactly do everything that you want to do. This isn't really like Planet Coaster, where you can pretty much, I mean, they have a very limited amount of things you can do, but you have to be very creative with what you have. And I'd say this one is more so because it's mainly grid, like everything's on a grid basically. There's only like very few things that are not, and for some reason it's pretty laggy right here. And I'm not sure why. I guess the stream had lost frames or something. Anyways, completely forgot what I was gonna say. God, that's wonderful how one thing can throw you off completely. I am having a few problems with frame rate issues whenever I do recordings. Usually I don't have a problem whenever I'm streaming. It just seems to be that one spot so far, or maybe if I turn too quickly, which it doesn't really make any sense because I have a very, I don't want to say it's like extremely powerful, but it's probably above, it's probably in the high range of power. So it shouldn't really have any problems. It must be some settings that I messed around with when I was trying to fix the regular recording portions, which is the real-time portions is what I'm talking about. I've had to go through and re-record so many times because of the problems I've had with it. But it usually doesn't affect my streaming. Unless it was like something from a download. I don't know. I'm not extremely tech savvy, so I'm just, going off the top of my head what I think it could be. So yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about this park, and there it goes again. Man, that is crazy. I'm hoping it's just Sony Vegas or something, because it's pretty bad, and I can't exactly like cut everything because I'd have to go through and watch a 2-hour stream completely to find where it's lagging at. So just bear with me for a bit. Hopefully it does go away sometime soon, just like the other one. But it doesn't seem to be. Well, anyways, it's not really like extremely important because I'm pretty much just going through and just building buildings, so it's not anything over the top. But the last episode didn't do quite that well, which kind of surprised me because it was on a pretty good streak of like averaging around 30 views maybe, or at least reaching 30 views, and this last one did maybe like 16, and I kind of thought it was like one of my best ones, so it is kind of disappointing. But for those of you that actually stayed through and are one of those 16 viewers, I appreciate it tenfold. Like it is a journey to try to get yourself up and out there, and to not lose motivation over starting out, because I think that's the hardest part of it, is to keep motivation and to continue making videos even if it doesn't get any views. And I honestly, like I said the last video, I didn't expect anything at all. So even 16 views, which might be disappointing compared to the other ones, it's still pretty good for what I was, well, not expecting really. And I did cut some portions out of this because it was skipping way too much, and I'm honestly not sure why it keeps doing that, and you'll have to bear with me this episode because I can't go through and re-record everything that I've done, and that would be quite a pain to do, because then I'd probably have to go through and skip an entire episode in an upload, and I really don't want to do that. I've been on a streak so far. What is this, episode 9? So yeah, this would be 9 weeks so far without missing an upload, and I want to keep it that way, especially since I won't be able to get this footage back. So I'm sorry about the skipping and the frame rate drops or whatever it might be. I'll try to figure it out for the next episode, and maybe while I'm streaming next time to go through it if I can remind myself somehow. So this episode should be a little bit shorter than the last few ones. I might just continue making shorter episodes, like maybe 14, 15 minutes, instead of going up in the 20, 25, 30 minute range. just because those ones don't seem to do as well as the ones that are shorter. And I can understand, you know, not everybody has the time to sit down for 30 minutes or 20 minutes to watch a video. And some people don't really have that kind of patience. They feel like they can do something else during that time, which, you know, I totally agree with. And right here, I'm trying to find something to cover up that, and I think I ended up finding I don't remember what I found. Anyways, not all of these buildings here are gonna be ones that the little people can walk through. Like, it's not all gonna have shops, or it's not all gonna have restrooms or anything, which I don't even think I placed any. I think there's one at the very beginning that comes with it, and as you can tell, there's a skip right there. That's what I was trying to do. I was trying to make a corner building and have it sort of be like a pub or something like that, and I'll have the picture pop up on the screen right now so that you can understand what I was trying to do. And because everything is so boxy and on a grid, it's hard to get something like this in the game, especially since there's a very limited amount of items you can use. I'm really hoping that the guys over at Parkitect, the ones that made the game, are working on some sort of DLC or something where they can throw in some more parts, or maybe even some different rides, or I don't know, just something to spice the game up a little bit. And I don't really remember what the goals were for this one. I'll probably have to go over it in the next episode because I completely blanked and I forgot to write it down. But it took me, I think this stream was 2 hours long, so it didn't take me as long as all the other ones because I didn't really spend that much time working on a coaster or anything like that. It was all mainly just trying to find a way to turn everything Western. But I think I did a pretty okay job, or at least I personally think I did. It's especially hard to get some different colors in, because I don't want everything to be brown or gray. That would just make it very unappealing, and I'm not about that. I want everybody to go through and look. And you can't even place the remainder of the fence there because there is no diagonal fence for it. So I kind of just had to go through and add another border I mean, there's not much else I can do about it, really. But I did what I could, and I think it turned out pretty nice. I don't think I added anything into this yet because the game is on pause, and I want to research some more shops to have some different ones from the starting ones. So that will probably be in the next episode. You'll eventually see it. And I did cut some other portions of the video out, that some tedious things where I would fix a building or whatever it might be, the behind the scenes work for the workers and stuff like that. But I do hope you guys enjoy this episode. The next episode should have a roller coaster in it, so if you're into that, stay tuned for next week. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and peace.